Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Nila Madhava Radha Nila Madhava Radhe.
Jayo Radha Nila Madhava Nila Madhava Shri Radhe.
Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadrama Jaya Sudarshana.
Jayo Jagannatha Jayo Baladeva Jayo Subhadrama Jayo Sudarshan Chakra.
Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman.
Jayo Sitaram Jayo Sitaram Jayo Sitaram Jayo Lakshman Hanuman.
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha.
Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha.
Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. We welcome you all to today's session based on Ayurveda. We are calling it as Aajara, which means, if I have to translate in English, it's called as food or diet. So I would like to thank Hari Vilas Maharaj and the temple management for giving me an opportunity to speak something about this. So this presentation is based on Ayurveda, and we will just try to understand the different perspective of Ayurveda and how the food plays an important role in that. So in today's presentation, we are going to see some similarity between the traditional Ayurveda and the modern diet. Yeah, sure. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Just give me a minute. Okay. Yes. Thank you. So we'll start with a prayer. Please repeat after me. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudirayet. Om namami dhanvantari devam sura surera vandita pada padmam loke jara rukka bhaya mrityunasham धातारमीशं विविधौषधीनां ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Okay, so the first question for tonight is, how many of you know what is Ayurveda? Okay, yes.
Old Indian way of treating diseases, or?
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Great, thank you. Anyone else? Correct. Yes, thank you. You got it right. So let's see what the statistic says. This study was derived, or it was based on in Europe, in one of the studies they did. And according to that, 100% of them, they said it's a health doctrine. 94% said it's a medical system. 79% said it's a philosophical system. 92% said it's a science. And so on and so forth. And interestingly, 72% said it is spirituality also. So in a nutshell, Ayurveda is just not about taking care of the body. It provides you the aspect to help yourself in helping rising and also getting better spiritually. So, this is a shloka from one of the scriptures of Ayurveda. It's called as Charak Samhita. It says, Ayurveda is the knowledge of what is good for an Ayu and what is bad, what gives happiness and what doesn't, and about the statistics of Ayu. So as we know, Ayu means life, and this is what Ayurveda is. It's a knowledge. So how do we authenticate a knowledge? So generally, there should be some credentials behind that, right? Let's say tomorrow I need to get a degree in IT from a prestigious university. So would I get the degree if I go to Walmart? No. In order for me to get the degree, I'll have to go to a university which is approved by the government. So when it comes to health, this is the university, or this is the chancellor for that particular university of Ayurveda. It's a disciplic succession, wherein Brahma, he remembered Ayurveda, he gave the knowledge to Prajapati Daksha. And Prajapati Daksha, he gave the same knowledge to Ashwini Kumara. And so on, if you see, it has been presented in a disciplic succession. So it's not a dogma. It's not just basic herbs and spices. There is a deep science behind this. So my next question to all of you. What is good health and what does good health mean? Anyone has answers for that? Would you like to give it a try? Functions of organs, correct. Good. Anyone else? Thank you. Anyone else would like to try? So let's look as what WHO talks about this. Yeah, thank you. Would someone like to read this for me?
A state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity.
Thank you, Prabhu. So it says a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. This is what WHO says. And what does Ayurveda says about that? Before we go that, like, this is the modern definition of arogya or health. So at the end of the day, when you go for annuals and you see all your numbers are matching, there's nothing in red, nothing in marked, nothing in bold, then you are satisfied. I have a good health. So, which means the modern science, they majorly focus on the values. Whereas Ayurveda, it's a shloka. It describes about that. It says, Samadosha samagniksha, samadhatu malakriya, prasanna atma mana indriya, swastya iti abhidiyate. Someone would like to read the translation, please?
One is in perfect health when the three doshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha, digestive fire, digestion, assimilation and metabolism, all the body tissue and components, dhatus, the entire physical body, all the excretory functions, the physiological functions of the urination and defecation are in perfect order with a pleasantly disposed and contained mind, sense and soul.
So you see, does anyone remember what WHO said? This is what WHO said. Physical, mental, social well-being. Okay? And Ayurveda says, okay, that's there. But apart from that, towards the end it says, with a pleasantly disposed and contented mind, senses, and soul. Now, what soul has to do with good health? Okay, thank you. So basically, in Ayurveda, there are different factors which determines the good health. Or, for a practitioner, these are the 10 parameters. And these parameters are Dusham Desham Balam Kalam Analam Prakritim Vaya Satvam Satman Tata Aharam Avastascha Pratidvigya, which means Dusham. Desham is place, Balam, strength, Kalam, time, Analam, Prakritim, the nature. All these things, and in that is also includes Aharam, which means diet. So these are the factors on which a person is diagnosed in Ayurveda. So it's a very wide topic. So we are trying to condense it and we'll focus on Ahara, which means diet. So again, let's take what modern value says. Does anyone know what is this triangle called as? Food pyramid triangle, correct? Yeah. And there is a name for this diet. Does anyone knows?
Ordinary vegan whole food vegan plant-based diet.
That's written on that. There is a government name for this particular diet. No. This is called a SAD. Standard American Diet. Now let's try to analyze both aspects, the Ayurvedic perspective and the modern perspective. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you, bro. So we're just trying to compare. Both sciences are different, but we don't want to create chaos. So we'll try to compare the best we can. The Ayurvedic perspective, you see that there are 6 tastes inspired that well-balanced meal. The tastes have roles of action. Also, Prakriti, season, age is also taken under consideration. And in modern perspective, there is no particular agreement between the experts on recommended daily ratios of essential nutrition. 3 decades ago, fat was bad, and now carbs are bad. In fact, RDA are also not made according to the individual's need. So the things which change day in and day out, that can't be a proper parameter for a health. So in the modern diet, this is what most of us eat. How many of a flavor, how many of them are, how many of them have seen this kind of picture? Practically many. And this is the fermented wheat which we use to make bread, pastas, cookies, cake, pretzels, chips, muffins, etc. Then greens. We have salads, sprouted food, fruits and smoothies. We know all this, right? Dessert after meal. Favorite part. And then high blood sugar. So this is what the white flour does. Anyone would like to read this for me? Yeah.
It is highly refined substance that is used in a variety of processed foods and baked goods because it is light, airy, and cheap. Unfortunately, white flour is completely stripped of its nutrient value, with virtual no vitamins, minerals, or fats to speak of.
It's not coming here. On the screen it is coming, see like that. In the center to leave the meeting. And move that. Maybe escape it and then maybe alt tab kariye to alt tab.
Something. Greens. Anyone like to read this? Anyone else? Read.
Dark leafy vegetables, kale, collards, broccoli, moringa, etc. are extractive. Their qualities are dry, light, and rough. Exactly the same qualities as vata dosha. Eating too many greens without enough augmenting foods will cause imbalanced symptoms like gas, constipation, anxiety, and inability to complete tasks, and a feeling of persistent coldness will soon follow.
Okay. Now these are all the animals who eat greens. Only greens. They are slim or they are heavy? Sprouted. High protein. Causes gases, headache, and knee pain if not digested properly. Fruits and smoothies. Everyone like this. So Ayurveda recommends seasonal fruit. Avoiding wrong combination, high content of water should not be consumed with grains, and they are heavy to digest. We all love this. And this is what happens when you have dessert after meal. It slows down the digestion process, responsible for accumulation of bad fat after eating, and add extra unabsorbed sugar to the body. So do we do all these things? Yes. Now, how many of them are aware of this aspect? We are very calorie conscious, right? Anyone aware of this aspect of calorie conscious? Anyways, I'm not getting this. So basically, what is done is that they measure the pressure of a particular grain in a system okay. This is called as bomb calorimeter. So in this, they put a particular sample of a grain and then they measure it with a particular temperature. And whatever the value is, that particular grain has that many calories. That's what the modern science says. Now, calories in Ayurvedic food. You see all this rice? You might see chickpeas, no, not chickpeas, green peas and rice. And on the left side, you have grains of rice. So the grains of rice have different calories compared to the cooked rice. And in the Indian cuisine, if you eat kheer, the calorie value of kheer is different from payasam. The calorie value of payasam is different from biryani. The calorie value of biryani is different from tomato rice. So it changes based on what you are adding to it. It's not a constant thing. Now, can we get audio? I'm not able to get audio on this. Sorry. No, okay. Okay, sorry, there's some technical difficulty. I'll skip this slide. There's no audio. Okay, I'll skip it, no problem. So in today's day and age, one of the struggle with people are going through is diabetes. So actually in Ayurveda, we have 20 types of diabetes. In the modern world, there's type 1 and type 2. And in Ayurveda, for some diabetic patients, we encourage them to eat sweet. This sounds contradictory, right? Because the fact of the matter is, just because you're having sugar in the blood, that doesn't qualify you to become a diabetic, according to Ayurveda. Now the main problem is this: fear of food. And because of fear of food, this happens. Like we are very controlled in what we eat. And because of that, inactivity, excessive sleep, excess use of yogurt, excessive drink of soup, domestic, aquatic and marshy animals, who does, and excess consumption of newly grained drinks prepared from that, and all other activities, it starts to retain water in the body. And that is one of the cause for the diabetes, according to Ayurveda. So basically, when there is no proper urine flow, then accumulation of that leads to diabetes. So I would like someone to read this for me. The term given for diabetes is.
Diabetes is diabetes is predominantly a kapha disorder whereby the Agni function is diminished. This leads to low metabolic rate in the body and buildup of sugar levels in the blood. The term given for the diabetes mellitus in Sanskrit is madhumeda. Madhu means sweet, meha, to follow or urination. The term given for the diabetes in mellitus in Sanskrit is
Yeah, the same thing, yeah. So, what does Ayurveda talks about healthy eating habits? So this is a verse from Sushruta Samhita. So basically, towards the end it says ajirni, which means, ajirna means a food which is not digested properly. That is the base cause of all the diseases, including diabetes. Now the second question arises that then why should we eat? Why should we eat? Can someone read this please for me?
The purpose of food is to sustain healthy and harmonious functioning of the body system, the physical medium of our life, to enable us to perform our duties towards Lord and His creation. Vedas say that we shall regard our body as a residence of our soul and maintain its sanctity and health by observing self-restraint and punctuality in our routine.
So just because we don't have the self-restraint and punctuality, it leads to different diseases. It starts with accumulation of sugar that puts extra pressure on the heart. All this follows. Now according to Ayurveda, this is what it is. It's not about calories, it's not about protein, it's not about vitamins. Ayurveda says there are 6 types of taste which one should consume. And if you see, most of us, we do take this 6 types of taste, but not in a proper order. For example, let's say someone likes to eat sweet. So the kind of sweet we take is majorly the raw sugar. And especially in the West, when people are telling you you should have more protein. Did anyone thought why this more protein is there? No. Because doctors say so. But the fact of the matter is, the body is demanding more protein because we are consuming so much sugar. In order to burn that sugar, body needs more protein. So in order to correct one, you are making some other mistake. And then Ayurveda further goes in detail about how we should eat. So it classifies in three ways. Some can read? Want to read?
Ith book, which means eat that is nourishing for your health and eat merely for taste. Myth book, which means eat moderately, only that much which is essential for sustenance of the vitality and stamina of the body. Rit book means eat that which is earned and prepared by righteous means and also what is suitable in a particular season.
Thank you. So I'll just try to elaborate these three terms. First one is eat, which means eat. Hidbuk means to eat which is nourishing for your body and do not eat merely for the taste. So how many of us do this? For us, taste comes first. And then we hardly care for the body, whether the body is able to digest that or not. And then second, Midbook means eat moderately. Only that much which is essential for sustenance of the vitality and stamina of the body. Does anyone know what is the quantity? So Ayurveda says there is a best way to measure the quantity. All you have to do is join your palms, and when you make a half moon shape, whatever fits in that, that's the quantity of meal you should take one time. So, no, that's what I said. Whatever fits in that. Whatever fits in that. And then the third aspect is Ritbuk, means eat that which is earned and prepared by righteous means and also what is suitable in the particular season. You might say, come on, Prabhu, you're in America. I get apples in the midsummer over here. Right? So how do we do that? So for that we need to go to grocery stores. And in grocery stores, the fruits or vegetables, sometimes when you see is in plenty, that means that's the season for that particular fruit or vegetable. And if you eat that, then you're not going to get sick. Like I come from Texas, Houston, right? So for us, in the month of December, we get nice mangoes which come from Mexico or South America. Because over there, summer is almost getting over. So people grow, mangoes are ripe over there. But by the time they come to Houston, Houston doesn't have the season for that. But still, okay, it's in the market, let's get it. And this is called as, in Ayurveda, this is called as Pragya Aprad. Most of us are devotees over here who are listening. And we have offenses against chanting of the holy name. I'm not going to ask what is that. Similarly, there are offenses against eating. And eating food, wrong food at wrong time, is one of the biggest offense. And that causes problem. This is what Prabhupada says. Someone can read this, please?
The real point is that eating, maintaining the body, not or for satisfying the demands of the tongue. But anyway, if anyone has the tendency to eat more, then let him eat more prasadam than any nonsense. But eating more is not encouraged.
Yeah, thank you. So, let's say we have nice Janmashtami Sunday feast, and we have a quarter-pound paneer over there. So Prabhupada said, you can eat prasadam. That's written, Prabhu, letter is there. It's Shastra. But Prabhupada also says, eating more is not encouraged. Does anyone remember any shloka from one of our acharyas when it comes to eating? Atyahara prasascha prajalpa nimagraha. Right? So you'd be surprised to know this shlok Rupa Goswami has not written. He's taken it from the other scriptures. Why Atyahar is not recommended? Because if you eat Atyahar, if you eat more than necessary, the first thing is disturbed is mind. Mind is under stress. How do I digest this? And once mind is under stress, then the senses get more agitated. Oh, I have eaten so much, let me drink some soda. Or let me drink some lime juice. And we don't think that the senses are getting tired. And because of that, we cause or we call for diseases. Does anyone know how much time it takes to digest a food? 16 hours? 3 hours. For a healthy person, the time taken to digest a food is between 5 to 6 hours. And I can prove it. Let's say you eat something around 9 or 10 o'clock. And after that you don't snack. By default, around 3 or 4 o'clock you start getting hungry. Have you ever tried this? No. Because we eat according to time. Which time? Prove my clock time. Ayurveda says eat according to time of your body. So generally for a healthy person, what happens is that when we eat, the food is divided into 3 aspects. The first aspect, whatever you eat, it goes in the stomach. So in stomach, the food doesn't get digested. It just churns over there. That takes 2 hours. And after that, the food is passed down to small intestine. Digestion happens in small intestine for human beings, especially for herbivorous animals. There are different juices which are mixed with the food, and the body extract, or it makes the food palatable so that it can be extracted the proper nutrition from that. This takes 2 hours. And then the food is been passed further in the large intestine, where the nutrition is separated from the waste. This also takes 2 hours. So once the second and third process is done, then the stomach gets empty. And then naturally we get hungry. That's the science behind it. You remember there were 6 tastes of food? Anyone remember what was those? Sweet, salty, astringent, bitter, pungent, and sour. So this is what Ayurveda says. In the practicality, this is what happens. Prabhu, I am diabetic, I cannot have sweet. If I eat too much sour, it causes acidity. My blood sugar is high, I cannot have salt. Bitter, no one likes. And astringent has not much value. So when we keep the food in silo, when we try to separate that, then this causes malnutrition. That's what I would say. It's okay for me to assume that, all of us or most of us have read Bhagavad Gita. So it's Bhakti Shastra test now. Anyone remembers Bhagavad Gita Shloka 15.14? Okay. Can we recite this? Bhagavad Gita class. Okay. Who would like to start? We can recite this together? But- Thank you. So if you see Prabhupada translation, Prabhupada says that this is, Krishna says he's the digestive fire. And he digests the food. So, this is an interesting theory in this. Madhvacharya, he elaborates this particular verse little more. What is the first line of the verse? Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. Lord says, I am. Jai Shri Radha Nilamata Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Sita Bhagwan ki Jai. So, Madhvacharya says that how we have Paramatma residing in heart. Similarly, there is a deity of Vaishvanar which resides in the stomach. You can call Jatharagni, but it's actual deity. And when, let's say, when we offer food to Lord, how do we do? There's a process. We cook it with a good consciousness. We offer it to Lord. We request Lord to come and honor it. We chant mantras. Right? There's a process. So then, how do we do, or what do we do when we offer to Vaishvanar? Anyone thought about this? No. We dump it. We don't offer, we dump it. Sorry to say this. Because the Shastra says, like even Prabhupada said earlier in the slide, that if someone wants to eat more, let him eat prasadam. So the food which is offered to Vaishvanar is nothing but Vishnu Prasad. And when this particular Vishnu Prasad is offered, then the Vaishnavar becomes satisfied, and that Vaishvanar nourishes the entire body. Anyone remember we have a shloka in Bhagavad Gita regarding that? Like if you water the root of the tree, no, sorry, not Bhagavatam, right? Bhagavatam, yeah. So if you water the root of the tree, then the entire plant becomes satisfied or nourished. Similarly, if you offer the food or the bhoga to Vaishvanar, which is Vishnu Prasad, with a proper consciousness and with a proper value, or with a proper, I would say, quantity. And I already mentioned what is the quantity. Now, when first I came, I remember the first day of ISKCON when I entered the temple in India, in Pune. All the devotees, they were like, asking each other. They had a hand in the bead bag and they were chanting, and they were asking each other, hey, how much have you done? Someone is saying 16, someone is saying 25, someone is saying 64. It was my first time, I couldn't figure it out what's happening, what kind of numbers they are calling. And then someone told me, oh, they're chanting the names and these are the numbers they have counted till now. I said, okay. Now that means it was Ekadashi. And then I was invited to have Ekadashi lunch prasad. So I went to have Ekadashi lunch prasad. In that Ekadashi lunch prasad, it was paneer, multiple fruits, yogurt with samo rice, and then glass of juice. And I was telling myself, growing up, the definition of prasad the definition of fasting which I had learned is totally different from here. I said I should come for fast every Ekadashi over here. But actually speaking, that kind of prasad when we take during Ekadashi, that destroys the system. If you have any person who you don't like, you should call that person and give that kind of prasad to that person. Especially when you are having our sabudana mixed with yogurt and potatoes. Give to that person. The one thing would happen will be that person will slowly start to get sick. And most of us might be agreeing with me, right? Prabhu, that's what we are eating from childhood. How you can say this? Because potatoes and tapioca, these are not product of India. The Europeans got them. In fasting, there is a concept called falahar. Falahar. What does it mean? Falahar. You eat fruits, but not fruit salad. And that too, one fruit at a time, not multiple of them. This is how we get sick. Second thing, how many of us drink Charnamrit during Janmashtami? All of us. Correct? Again, when I first time I experienced the Charnamrit, Janmashtami, fasted, we used to always fast. My Janmashtami Charnamrit, one of my brahmachari friend gave me a glass. Prabhu, take this. I said, what is this? He said, this is Charnamrit. I said, Prabhu, the concept of Charnamrit, what I have is like you take in your palm. He said, no, Prabhu, this is ISKCON. You can take it. You cannot deny the Charnamrit offered to Lord. Lord has been bathed with this. I said, okay. But if you see the potency of Charnamrit, when we pour yogurt, honey, what else is there in Charnamrit? Fruit juice, milk, ghee, correct? All these things are toxic. The combination is toxic. So when you bathe Lord with that, it is auspicious once Lord is bathed with that. So the principle behind that is, even there's a things which are toxic if you mix regularly, but if the same preparation, if you offer it to Lord, it becomes Amrit. And traditionally, how much should we honor it? Few drops. So when you take few drops, that becomes actual Amrit in terms of physical health also. But we don't do that. And then we get sick. Because Ekadashi, on Janmashtami days, most of us fast, right? Imagine, on one side the stomach is completely empty, or very little food. And at midnight, a huge 4 to 8 ounce of glass filled with very high intent of sugar. And that causes problem. But if you accept it as a Charnamrit, lesser quantity, that will benefit you spiritually also. Bro, how much time we have? Okay. Okay. So, the human body, when Lord Brahma designed the body, Lord Brahma designed a biological clock. And this is what it is. So if you see, except nocturnal animals, none of them or no one eats after sunset. Prabhu, come on. 9 o'clock our program is getting over. And Prabhupada say, Prasadam, we should feed Prasadam. Yeah. But at the same time, that is one aspect. But more than that, if you try to focus on this biological clock, that would help your body to be more stable in digesting the food properly. So, in Ayurveda, there are categorization given of food. Who says we don't have cereals in Ayurveda? We have cereals. Cereals originated in Ayurveda. So if you see, I have marked, out of all this, I have marked few things in red. So even if we take these few things which are marked in red, on a moderate quantity, that would give you a proper nourishment. And we'll just see. Can anyone read this for me, please?
Phala fruits. Vitamins, minerals, natural glucose, and carbohydrates are present in substantial portions in fresh fruits. Ayurveda emphasizes that fruits should be eaten in their specific season and should be naturally ripe. Overripe or rotten fruits are harmful. Raw fruits would be difficult to digest and will not have the desired natural qualities. Care should be taken to avoid eating fruits preserved in cold storage and those ripened through the use of chemicals like carbide. These have severe negative effects. Frequent use of such unnatural ripened fruits might cause dreaded diseases like cancer.
Thank you. In America, even though the weather is good, the air quality is good, AQI index is better than India, but at the same time, the number of cancer patients are more. Why? Because there is no proper intake of food. Wrong food eaten at wrong time with wrong combination leads to cancer. Green. Leafy vegetables. Someone would like to read?
Fenugreek leaves, green peas, mint leaves, radish leaf, spinach, etc. should be part of a healthy diet.
Okay. So yeah, you need this. It's not that you don't need it. But we don't want just to make a smoothie of it and take it. That becomes very difficult to digest. Now, interesting aspect. How many of you are aware of these terms or these pictures? Have you seen? So Ayurveda doesn't consider this as milk. And I'll tell you why. I'm not against these things, but there are certain things which are fact and I need to present it. Let's say if someone gives you an almond to eat, how many almonds can you eat one time? An approximate number. 10, right? And if you try to squeeze out milk of 10 almonds, how much will be the quantity? Right? So which means to say, if you're taking half glass of almond milk or 1 glass of almond milk, you are eating more than 50 almonds. And after that, what we do? We go in the office, sit on the chair under a AC, we don't sweat. And these things become heavy to digest. So these are not milk. This is not milk. So the question arises, what is milk? And what is the quality of milk? This is what Ayurveda says. According to Ashtang Sangraha, the properties of milk are, can someone read this? Only the properties, Jivaniya.
Jivaniya, enlivening, Rasayana, rejuvenating, anti-aging. Working on. Medhya, brain tonic, improves intelligence. And Balya improves strength and immunity. Stanya improves lactation. And Sara, laxative, promotes movement of liquids in channels.
Yes. So therefore our beloved lords like cow milk, not almond milk. Then the another important aspect, ghee. So cow ghee promotes memory, intellect, power of digestion, semen, ojas and kapha. It elevates vata and pitta. It's visha, like it removes the toxic conditions. Unmada, insanity. I was telling this afternoon, I was telling to Vrajraman Prabhu that one of my friend, doctor in India, just last week, he took out from his storage ghee which is 180 years old. And what they do with this ghee is, when the ghee is preserved like that, it becomes so potent that even 2 drops of that ghee can cure any kind of unmada, which means any kind of problem with ADHD, anxiety, depression, just 2 drops. And he said that don't just believe what I'm saying. He went and did carbon dating of that ghee. The person who had that ghee said it is 180 years old. But when he did the carbon dating, the ghee was 220 years old. So this ghee, when he took the ghee, he properly did chanted mantras, brahmanas were called. Anyone remember what Charvak says? Yavat jive sukham jivet, ranam kitva, ghritam pivet. Beg, borrow, steal, but drink ghee. That was the lifestyle, Prabhu. Ghee. Beg, borrow, steal, but drink ghee. But now we are scared of that. And it is auspicious. When administered according to prescribed procedure, it increases 1,000 times in the potency and develops manifold utilities. Now, unfortunately, what happens is that we consume the one in the right on a greater extent compared to one in the left. Buttermilk is okay, but yogurt, it is said that if you have to eat yogurt, then you should sweat. That doesn't mean that exercise. No. the Indian culinary thing is so scientific, I will tell you. Yogurt is a fermented food. And southern part of India, where humidity is a natural thing in the weather, if you eat this kind of fermented food, it protects your body from getting dehydrated. When I came to US for the first time, I went to one of the grocery store. And then I happened to come to this dairy section. So it was evening time over here, probably it was morning in India. So I called one of my Ayurvedic doctor friend. And without saying a word, I took my camera, my phone, I flipped it, started a video call, and just moved the camera from the frozen section of the yogurt. After moving the camera, then I flipped it again towards me. My doctor friend had a very big smile on her face. Said, "Oh my God, Anand, this means you are going to have many patients with you." What I did was I just showed her the frozen section where there are fruit mixed with yogurt without uttering a single word. And she was very happy. Because yogurt and fruit are toxic. And we eat it regularly without even thinking what's going to happen about that. Mango lassi. Now, I'm just going to explain few things about ghee, and if anyone is interested, I can give them a scientific paper based on this. We are short of time, so I'm just going to run through quickly. QA? Okay. Okay. How many of you are going to believe this? Come on, Prabhu, don't fool us. Right? Okay, let's prove it. Let's say this is on this floor, we spill some ghee and someone is walking over it. What will happen? Slip, right? So ghee, when goes in the body, it doesn't allow the undigested food to stick. It makes it lubricant. The intestine becomes lubricant. The arteries become lubricant. It helps the impurities to flush out. It doesn't allow the fat to accumulate. And as a result, it improves the digestion. And when it improves the digestion, naturally you lose weight. I have patients, one of the patient, I made her lose 48 pounds by feeding ghee. Ghee contains medium chain fatty acids which the liver can absorb directly and burn immediately, making it a healthier source of energy than most of the carbs we eat today. Now what happens with us is that, coming from, I'm seeing most of us from the Indian origin background over here, they will eat ghee, they will eat chapati, they will eat paratha, they will eat all the carbs. Now for these carbs to flow, you need ghee. But no, Prabhu, ghee will cause fat. So you take one aspect, you leave the other one. And that's the reason you gain weight. Come on, Prabhu, this is too much. This is too much. Isn't it? Now, can someone read this for me?
Ghee is rich rich in conjugated linoleic acid, a fatty acid that protects against plaque, cancer, and diabetes.
Prabhu, my cholesterol level is very high. Doctors told me to stop ghee. Why? Because it has fat. Then how do you remove the things from the cholesterol, from the heart, arteries? You need some lubrication. Again, this is why ghee works on cholesterol. It's rich in omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-3 fatty acids reduce and lowers cholesterol and improves heart health. And as I said, it boosts digestion. And whatever I'm providing is based on the modern science. I haven't used any aspect of Ayurveda over here. Because there is no butyric acid in Ayurveda. Our bodies actually convert fiber into butyric acid, so eating this makes the body's job easier. Butyric acid heals the digestive tract and keeps it healthy. Now, if you don't eat ghee, then people have GERD problem, they have digestive issues, they have irritable bowel syndromes. And this is what butyric acid does. It also promotes immunity by increasing the production of killer T cells in the gut. Again, remember, there are no killer T cells in Ayurveda. I am presenting you a study from Harvard. I can give you the papers for that. Scientific. And I'll explain this point in a very simple way. Sometimes, in a home in India, if there is a door which is very old, it makes crackling sound. What we do? And the sound stops. But we don't do it for our body. Practical, right? Again, this is a typical ISKCON plate. Yeah, that I kept separately. So, no, this is actually ISKCON plate. I don't want to name the temple, but this is from one of the Indian temples. Rajbhog. Yeah. So, again, ghee triggers the release of gastric acid, because when you eat this kind of food, because of the spices, because of the other aspects, the way the food is cooked, body has to produce gastric acid in order to digest the food. But if the proper ghee content is there, then the gastric acid is not produced to that extent. Few months back, I posted one thing from Ayurveda regarding vultures. The vultures, they have a habit that once in like 3-4 months, they vomit. And the vomit, it goes with force, around 3-4 meters. And if any human being comes in that path, they get blisters, because that vomit is so acidic. Because birds, they don't have digestive tract like how we do. So definitely the body produces more acid. And this is one of the way they remove the acid from the body. I don't have the video, I would have shown. In Arab country, there was one person, Arab guy, he held an eagle on his hand, and with the other hand, he literally put a 10 feet long bone in the mouth of the eagle. it could digest because of the acid. Now, when we eat food which is spicy, when we eat food which is pungent, and if we don't have a proper lubrication for that, that would damage the gut. It lubricates the joint and connective tissues and promotes flexibility. I give you the example of the door. It's rich in vitamin A, which prevents macular degeneration and cataract development. Why is cataract developed? Because we sit in the AC? No. Because the body stops or it reduces the lubrication of the eyes. So cataract is dryness of the eyes. And the nature is of human eye is the only organ in the human body. When the person is dead, the eyeballs melt. Yeah. There is no physical substance in that. It's made up of water completely. So when you don't keep it lubricated properly, it causes cataract. Important role in developing the baby's facial features and teeth. How many of you are aware of this word, emotional toxins? Have you experienced it? No. Research has shown that the negative emotions have chemical composition and that these chemicals get stored in the unhealthy fat. Ghee is a healthy fat that does not harbor the emotions. Instead of, it can use to be flush them out. Now you might say, come on, Prabhu, emotions are, subtle. Say something practical. So I'll give you a true story. In Maharashtra, there is a coastal belt. And there, people are used to eating fish, being in the coast. It's a natural part of their diet. So one of the doctor, a patient came to him, and the doctor told him, for next 1 month, you should not have fish. Now, this is a village setup. I'm pretty sure most of them are aware of a village setup, where people know each and everyone like. So this person, he told the doctor, he told the Vaidya that, okay, I'm not going to have any fish. And he came back after 1 month for follow-up. And the Vaidya checked his pulse and he chastised him. He said, I had told you to stay away from the fish. Why didn't you listen to me? And this guy got upset. He said, I can swear on anyone, I haven't touched fish for 1 month. He said, my pulse diagnosis cannot go wrong. So either the doctor was lying or that patient was lying. So one day the doctor just happened to go to his house. It's a small village. So he went during the lunchtime. And it so happened that the person was eating the food in his courtyard. And in his plate, it was a proper vegetarian meal. But on the left side, they had another house which was cooking fish. And the smell was coming on his plate. So when he was eating that regular vegetarian meal, just because of the smell was coming, his body was producing that kind of chemicals to digest the food, thinking it's a non-veg food. And that's consciousness. Emotions. I'll give another example. Let's say, okay, Prabhu, you tell me one thing which you like to eat. Let's say, do you eat sweet? Okay, tell me one thing which you like to eat in sweet. Gulab jam. How much gulab jam can you eat? 3, right? Okay, let's say if I give you the fourth one, you might hesitate, but you might eat it. What about the fifth one? You'll say no. So what has changed in the gulab jam? The taste is the same, the shape is the same, but what has changed? It's not your capacity. It's the consciousness. The same gulab jam which was giving you pleasure, now the same gulab jam makes you feel pain. That's emotional toxicity. And this third aspect. Have you ever seen a person who is heavily dependent on animal fat diet? You can go to that person, you might notice that his ability to tolerate things is very low. He or she would be violent the way they deal with situations. And on the other hand, a Brahmana who consumes ghee, even though that person might be stressed out, but you won't see it on the face. And if you want a proof of this, you should visit Nathdwara. Nathdwara temples, all the bhoga is made of ghee. And the traditional pujaris, they have a big belly. Till date, no one has gotten heart attack, cardiovascular disease, nothing. Because their food is made up of pure ghee. I'm not recommending that you eat all. Yeah. Jai. Thank you. Then as I was saying that, food containing several herbs and spices, each are very loaded with numerous nutrients. Ghee absorbs this nutrition and helps them to reach the body, correct part of the body where they are most required. Many oils have more, less. The oil which has lowest smoking point, anyone knows what? Coconut. Coconut oil you just put on your tongue, it melts. But look at the ghee, the smoke point. 250 degrees Celsius. And even that degree doesn't boil. It just smokes. And I just now told you about a ghee from 220 years old. So yes, I am really very happy when I came to know that this particular community has a Goshala. And I'm not exaggerating. This is one of the best wealth any community can have. You nurture the cow, you take care of them, and the cow reciprocates. But our problem is we haven't experienced that. Ayurveda says that a person who is behind the cows, just by being behind the cow, the air which touches the body of the cow and comes toward that person never gets sick. You might say, Prabhu, this is sentimental, Give us some practical tip. So the practical tip is, try this out whenever you have time. You take ghee and you keep it in a silver spoon. You can heat the ghee in silver spoon, and after that, when it is room temperature, you just taste it. It tastes much more sweeter compared to when you eat from a plastic spoon. The ghee enhances the ability of the metal also. But again, when we talk about ghee, it should be proper ghee, not what we made from butter. That's called sarpi. It's a 1 grade lesser than ghee, but still it's a good fat. Hare Krishna. So I would stop over here. Any questions, comments?
Focus so much about ghee. So my question is obviously, what is the best way to consume ghee so that it is beneficial for the body and the mind?
1 teaspoon with meal.
What time?
Lunch.
Lunch or hot milk?
Yeah.
Before lunch or after lunch?
With lunch.
But
Yeah.
generally, like we have seen, like Srila Prabhupada said, in the night we should take hot milk with ginger, haldi or Krishna book like that.
You're confused. Prabhupada never says ginger haldi. Prabhupada say hot cup of milk and Krishna book.
Yes, correct. Hot cup of milk. So
Yeah.
is that in the night or is it in the...
That's at night. Because milk by nature it's calming. Milk has the property which comes from Chandra. It's a coolant. And it's also mild laxative. So when you drink cow's milk at night, it will give you good sleep. And at the same time, it being laxative, next morning it will help you in your bowel movements also. Yeah. Yes.
Like it's not sunny here most of the months. So what kind of foods are good where,
That will come to cover tomorrow. She has something.
Is it okay to cook in ghee and then? Is it okay to cook in ghee and then not have ghee separately, or should we still have ghee separately even if we're cooking in ghee?
Basically, when you cook with ghee, most of the ghee absorb the spices properties. So it helps in cooking the spices properly. But on top, when you add a teaspoon of ghee, that helps in lubrication. So the purpose is different. Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for your nice class. So I have a question, what the ideal food plate? You said that 6 rasas should be there. So what an ideal food plate? And you also said that it should be just fist.
No,
So-
I said palm.
Oh, okay. I was watching I was hearing, I was not seeing. Okay.
So to answer your question, the ideal food plate would be, let's say you started eating, and after eating, let's say if you have 3 chapatis in your plate, and after eating 1.5 chapati, you feel that you cannot go for the next half. You should stop there. I'll discuss this in the next session, the quantity of exact food. Yeah. Because it's at the end of the day, the contentment should come from within. And body knows when to stop.
So, but all 6 rasas should be there? All
It's
6
always there. Like salt is there, right? Sweetness is there. And when I say sweetness not necessarily only sugar. Rice is sweet according to Ayurveda. Wheat is sweet according to Ayurveda. It's called Madhura Ras. So that's. Anyone else?
You said fruits you should not combine
With yogurt.
yogurt, and when we are eating just fruits, then also one type of fruit only we eat, or we can
It's not about one type of fruit. Generally, let's say if you're having banana, then along with banana, eat a fruit which is same in rasa, same in sweetness. Don't have banana and orange. You can have banana and pear, in one sense. Yeah. If you're having, let's say if you're having cantaloupe, don't have cantaloupe and, green mango. Yeah. Anyone?
During the Ayurvedic treatment, only one
Yeah.
so that's only during the treatment, not
No, there is a process for that. The idea behind that treatment is that we give ghee on an incremental level. So we start with 70 ml, and depending upon the person, it goes for 5 days or 6 days or 7 days. And towards the 7th day, the person has to drink 750 ml in one day. Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, I have another question. So, when you said that we shouldn't mix fruits, that's clear. But we shouldn't mix vegetables also then? Mix vegetable, we should only have one vegetable?
No, vegetable can be mixed. Because vegetable doesn't have, for example, let's say you take Karela, which is bitter. So, if you are mixing, yeah, like for example, don't make Karela with paneer. Okay. Or don't mix Karela with pineapple. Because nowadays, sometimes some friends of mine or devotees also, they send me cookery shows, videos. And those are the most kind of, irritating for me. You can see there's an art in cooking. What it means is that the spices should be to such an extent which enhances the flavor of the food without compromising the actual taste of that particular vegetable or particular, even for that matter, bean.
Prabhuji, so can we have fruit juices? Like I like to do that, just not with the fiber, not blended, but removing the fiber and having the juice of the fruit.
Okay. Give me an example of a fruit which you would like to drink. Juice.
Orange juice.
Orange juice.
Homemade.
Homemade. Okay. How much oranges can you eat at one time?
Very few. That's the whole point of the fruit juicing. You get more nutrition without, and the fiber does not stop you from having. So it's like a...
No, my question is, how much oranges can you eat one time?
2.
Correct? So you can juice those 2 oranges and drink that much juice.
Okay.
See, it's not about how much. It's about what capacity your body has to digest that. And this is a big myth that juices are good. Fruit juices are not good. And I'll tell you the reason behind that. In Ayurveda, like whenever you chew something, as soon as you start chewing it, your brain sends a signal to the stomach that this particular thing is coming, and the stomach, it prepares that kind of juices to digest it. Okay. So Ayurveda says you should chew the you should chew the liquid and drink the solid. Have you ever experienced it? You can try it out. So whenever you are eating, you chew it properly. And if you go on chewing it, after some time, it will automatically go down. You don't have to swallow it. And what it would do, it would naturally reduce the intake of food. Instead of having 4 chapatis, you will be content with 1.5 chapati. And when you drink water, don't do bottoms up. Just sip. So when you sip the water, instead of you consuming 8 ounces of liquid in one time, within 4 ounces, your thirst will be quenched. It's very natural. Try it out.
Prabhuji, like over here, there is a fad that we should eat quinoa and not rice and not wheat. At least I am following it since 2015.
So basically, quinoa comes in the category of millet. All the millets in India, millet was the primary source of grain. Rice was also there, but millet was more. because millet doesn't need much water. But at the same time, every day is called as Rishi Dhanya in Ayurveda, which means these are meant for people who do sadhana. It's very ruksha, it's very dry. If you start eating only millet without ghee, that will cause complications. Yeah. Yes. Anything else? Or we can stop? Yeah, your question.
So also in the Prabhu, they say in the rice or in the wheat, there is also a lot of sugar or whatever, right? Like that's where the alternate is millet, and so even within if rice, there are brown rice and this, right? So like, is there any benefit of eating white rice versus brown rice, or is all the same?
No, there's definitely benefit of eating brown rice or white rice. So the principle is, any grain what we eat, it should not be new, newly harvested. It should be aged. And the best option to do is, like, whenever you're trying to cook rice, and if you're kind of afraid of the glycemic index of that, there are two ways to handle it. One is, you add extra water to the rice when it's cooking, and you flush out the excess water. That's one way. That's how the starch gets thrown away. Second would be, like, whatever quantity of grains you need for a week, just roast it slightly in one day and store it, and you can use from that. So when you roast it, that time the rice or the grain becomes lighter to digest. That's what I'm saying, that we have forgotten this basic science. And this is my recommendation to all the devotees and those who are listening. As much as possible, stop using pressure cookers. That's one of the main reasons of people getting sick. Any pressure cooker. Because I'll tell you, when you use pressure cooker, even scientifically it's proven. I can give you the paper on that. You break the molecular structure of the food because it's cooked in so much of a pressure. I mean, I know it's a time consuming, like you save time on that, but you're compromising on your health. Slow cooker is best. I give these options to college going kids or those who are too busy. I tell them at night, you put these things, rice in the slow cooker, and in that there's an option keeping it warm. Just leave it that. The whole night the cooking takes place. And next day morning what you get is a fresh meal. Yeah. Oats it comes in the category of wheat. Now this is the agony, like, this is the thing. Oh, I'm not going to eat chapati because it has carbs in it. But I can have cereals. I can have oats. It's the same thing. Yeah, I'll come to. Let me take a question.
So here, Prabhuji, the question is around wheat and maybe even rice. So here we get ready-made flour, grinded flour, which is probably month or maybe years old as well. And the variety of the wheat is probably not the best, like the original breed or whatnot. It's like some genetically modified and whatnot. So what is the best alternative for that?
You want alternative or you want...
So what can we do about it?
Okay. I have both answers. If you want alternative, I can send you a link of we call it wonder meal. You get in America. You get your own meal.
Yeah, I have, Prabhuji.
Okay, I can even give you the source of where you can get the wheat from. So, if you want, you can make your own atta. In front of you, you know, you get what it is. Second option is, when you are using wheat, just add, this is easier, just add a teaspoon of castor oil in it. Castor oil. Not castrol. Okay? Yeah. So, at the end of the day, the nutrition, your body will derive the nutrition from how well it can digest. So, it's not that it has to be only this particular way. If you can, well and good. But if it's not, there's alternative. Just like, if you don't get the highest or purest form of thing, you go a little lower. If you don't get, like in America, you get even 10 karat gold. But there is some gold content in that. That's how it is. Yeah.
Prabhuji, you talked about ghee a lot, so again, the question is on ghee. So we generally make, at least I don't know the proper process of making ghee. Or we go to store and we find different varieties of ghee. Some ghee you can just see and say, okay, it's not a good quality, but some they charge a lot of money, but still you don't know whether it's a good way it's properly made or not. So the second option is to make, get butter and make it at home. Second best option. But is there a proper method or a short method which we can use, which is almost very close to the original ghee?
What do you mean by short method?
I mean, is there, so what I heard is like you take the cream of the milk and then you store it.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that it is called as sarpi. It's one grade lower than ghee.
Is it harmful to or is not that harmful?
It's not that harmful. The only one condition is in this, that if you're making ghee at home, try to get milk from grass-fed and grass-raised cows. Don't go to Costco, don't get that butter, Kirkland butter and make ghee. It's very easy. But it's also harmful. See, I have a very simple principle. I tell devotees, non-devotees, my patients, I say you have to spend. Now you decide where you want to spend. Either you spend on high quality good food or you spend on doctors. So, at the end of the day, if you are getting, the thing is that like many devotees, they get ghee from India, A2 cow ghee. It's very good, very high quality, no doubt in that. Bologna. That's a simple process. You convert milk into yogurt, then you churn the yogurt, you get butter, and then you boil the butter and you get ghee.
So that's what we do, right? We take out the cream of the milk,
No.
make a yogurt out of it, and then we churn it, and that's how we make butter.
She's right. So basically, like once you boil the milk, yeah, so you don't have to remove the cream. With that milk itself, you to convert into yogurt.
The whole milk itself.
Yes.
Very easy process then.
Yeah.
And it becomes very easy, and then we make it to yogurt, and then we churn, and then we take it.
Yeah, and the remaining what you get buttermilk, that's a very good source of protein.
And that we can use it in dal.
Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah, that is, again, as I said, if you want to fine tune it, there are many ways and means. Now, if I have to tell you exactly how the ghee is made, all of you will say, Prabhu, enough. The actual process is, if you make ghee in a clay pot, that is much more potent. But as I'm saying, considering all the situations, we do whatever is easily accessible. Oh, it can be in a ceramic. Ayurveda says clearly whenever you freeze anything, it is dead. So the calorie wise it might be intact, but it has no prana in that. It's no life force in that. Yes. Yes, Mother.
Prabhuji, one more question is, it makes sense that logically, all this science is correct and we should follow it. But then many times this, there is argument that, okay, whoever has not followed this process since childhood is also seems to be having a healthy life. Then why do we take so much effort?
That's what I'm saying. The difference is very simple. We might say, why it takes so much effort? Okay. The thing is that when we talk about health, it's not only physical health. When we started the presentation, we are talking about the mind. Okay. Those people who don't follow these things, they are healthy, no doubt in that. But as they reach at the age of 35, 40, 45, their ability to tolerate stress goes way down. And because the ability to tolerate stress go down, they don't have lubrication, they get stressed out for little things. And then where you go? You go to take antidepressant drugs. So physically I might look healthy. Mentally it's not. And being in a community of practicing sadhakas, it's very important that our mental health should be okay so that we can focus on the prime object. That's how simple it is.
Yes, Prabhuji, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, we have been given wrong parameters of everything in the life, in the modern world. When we talk about, I remember my father used to tell me a story when he was a child. They had around 45 members in our own house. It's a joint family of 45 members. My grandmother, she used to wake up early morning, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. She used to literally grind the wheat every day to make rotis for 45 members. Okay? Natural gym. Natural workout. And my father told me the story. He said when he was around 1 or 2 years old, he was playing outside the house and my grandmother was fetching water from the well. So there was a bull who charged towards my father. So my grandmother left the water pot in the well and she ran. So now there is a small child and there's a bull coming. What would you as a mother would do? You would remove the child, right? Easy. My grandmother hold the bull with both horns and make him sit down. And she used to milk 12 cows every day with her hand. So we are not been exposed to these things. It might be, as you know, Sakalina Mahata, like you lose this trade. But there are still many things which you can be doing at your home. It's as simple as that. So Ayurveda lifestyle is not a complex situation. It's a very natural way. If you start practicing it, then you will understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that, if you do this 100% you will be healthy. There might be some flu, there might be some sickness, but your body would be in a position to fight it back quickly. Okay? And again, the same in that place, there was one person who used to come and fetch water for all the houses. And his diet was, my father said, is to start fetching the water from the well at 4 o'clock in the morning. And there were 10 houses. Like, imagine like if even one house, let's say 10 people are there. So he was just fetching the cooking water. So for 10 houses, how much water we would need? It's a good quantity, right? He used to start at 4 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, he used to finish it, filling water for everyone. 10 o'clock, he used to sit for making chapatis for himself. And he used to have chapatis like from the ground, this quantity. And 3 liters of cow milk. That was his diet for the day, till the next day. So, I mean, there are exceptions, like, we cannot do that. But if we try to adapt little things in life, it will make your spiritual life also better, and your household activities also would be supportive. Thank you. You can stop. Right. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one small thing. So when you cover the foods that we can consume, I think tomorrow you said, in tomorrow's session you will cover the actual foods. Can you please also talk about kids' diets, about, especially considering here kids like cheese and buttery and all that bread type stuff, and then so how can we balance? Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'll cover that. Thank you. Hare Krishna. See, again, the scriptures are very simple, they are very practical. Ekadashi's purpose is not to fast. Ekadashi's purpose is to engage yourself in service of the Lord. And the only reason we fast is that the time consumed for cooking of the food, eating it, washing the vessels, that much time you can chant extra rounds. Simple. So one day one devotee told me that, Prabhu, Ekadashi, is it okay to have palak paratha? I said, what do you mean by that? He said, no, Prabhu, I'll have quinoa atta and palak mixed together. It makes palak paratha. I said, okay, have it. But that's not the purpose of Ekadashi. So we miss the actual aspect why the scriptures are giving us the things to do. In Sanskrit, there's, the meaning of upavas? Yes. What is it? The Sanskrit is wrong. Sorry? Okay.
Like keep God in your mind on that day. That's the whole idea.
So other days you don't keep God in the mind. You're right. Okay, I understood. In basically Sanskrit terminology has many meanings, and one of the meaning which I personally like is to uplift your consciousness. Upavas, and that upavas is not only for Lord, it's for you also. I mean, you're doing for the Lord. So your consciousness is uplifted towards the Lord. That's what it is. So, on Ekadashi, focus on upavas, not on the menu. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are very fortunate that His Grace Ananteshwar Prabhu was able to visit us from his busy schedule. He has almost planned twice, but somehow he is able to make it up this time. So just a quick intro about Prabhu. As you see, he is practicing devotee for more than 30 years. He joined as a brahmachari in Pune ashram. But more than that, he belonged to a traditional lineage of Vaidyas called as Karshnayas, who used to serve the royal family in the central India. And they learned the art of Ayurveda in a guru-disciple succession, like how we know, right? Like the evam parampara praptam. As a result of which, the same knowledge is passed to him. And 2 generations back, they moved to Maharashtra. They are presently based in Pune, but in 2014, Prabhuji has moved to Houston. I was about to say moved to Seattle. So Prabhu is academically, he did graduate from Pune as a Vachaspati, and he learned further Ayurveda from 6 different gurus, which included Jyotish Shastra, Drava Vigyan, Kaya Chikitsa, Marma Chikitsa, Nadi Parikshan, Shailya Chikitsa, and Kaumara Bhritya. So currently, as I said, Prabhuji is practicing from Houston. His practice is called as Hemlata Ayurvedic Ancient Healing. Prabhu has talked about Ayurveda in various prestigious universities like MIT, Texas A&M, Rice University, University of Houston, and other colleges. He has also given seminars in corporates like JP Morgan, HP, Google, to name few. So, and also, as I mentioned in our intro, Prabhu is also very actively helping ISKCON North American leadership and many sannyasis with their whatever. Prabhu is helping them in their health from Ayurvedic standpoint. So let's express our gratitude very sincerely, and whatever you see, Prabhu is saying both bona fide from our scriptures, from a shastrically standpoint as well as from Ayurveda standpoint. I have personally witnessed someone who has been suffering for some time has been able to recover very well. I know very well closely for past 15 years. The devotee had some problem, but devotee has recovered very well. So please make best use of Prabhu's visit. He is just here this weekend. Follow-up of this seminar will be tomorrow evening again after Gaura Aarti. And then the third part will be on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Also, Prabhu is also doing some university preaching program along with Brajkara Prabhu tomorrow afternoon. So let's warmly welcome as well as express our gratitude to His Grace Ananteshwar Prabhu by loudly chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So we'll also, tomorrow morning Bhagavatam class, it will be served by His Grace Ananteshwar Prabhu, which starts at 7:30 in the morning. So all of you are welcome. With that, we'll see you soon. Hare Krishna.
Is there any book for Prabhuji? Book? He's based out of Houston.